All right, so welcome to Marketing and Manifesting Your Business. This is a taster webinar, so you can find out how we created a global business, the Centre for Conscious Ascension, a global teaching business, and give you a taste of how that works, okay? So if you're interested in creating your own businesses. I'm Nicolas Ngan, the Centre for Conscious Ascension, and I've been doing this for about 30 odd years, and then I realized with Ariel Hilaire, who used to run the business with me, that many of our practitioners and alternative therapists or alternative therapists to be really needed some structure on how to take the different therapies they had, especially the ones we teach them, like soul contract reading and divine healing. How do we take that out into the world and turn it into a business that actually pays the bills, is actually viable, that works? So I came out with this workshop to give, it's a 2-day workshop, normally marketing, manifesting your business, but this is just a taster of the workshop. It's the first couple of hours, because it's a big journey from turning a training into a therapy into actually a business. So that's why I'm here. And we're going to do the first couple of hours of the training so you can have a direct experience of it, where we will help you get clear on what your gift of service to the world is and who the audience is you're going to deliver it to. Sort of two very important things. Because if you're not clear on that, it's very hard to form a business. It forms the core of a business, spiritual business. So I want to find out why you guys are here, because I haven't met a couple of you before, and that will help me focus on where we go with this. So I want to hear from where you're located and what brought you here and what you need from this. And that sort of is setting intention really for the group. Okay, so if you guys just have your mics on mute and you're not talking, so we don't get any background noise. So I'm here to help you guys in whatever way you need, but I need to know where you're coming from and what you need. So yeah, where you are, what brought you here, what you need from this. So who wants to go first? You can just wave at me. Masuma, where are you?
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Masuma Tamim. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's in USA, like close to California, if you're not familiar with Nevada.
Yeah.
I just learned about your book literally 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I kind of got obsessed with it. I printed out my charts, and I just want to learn a little bit about it and see how I can use it, because I've done so many trainings over the past few years, and I feel like I'm so close to figure out what I'm supposed to do, what's my purpose, and how can I serve the world. I know that I have a big mission. I just don't know how to execute it. So here I am.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Michael. Welcome. Haven't seen you for years. But
Hello, Nicolas. It's been a while. Yeah, it's good to see you.
Doing intros here. We're doing intros in terms of where you are, what brought you here, and what your intention is for marketing and manifesting your business.
Okay.
This little taster webinar, and basically you're going to get the first couple of hours of the training in terms of how to become a spiritual entrepreneur, based on our Mira and Mai's experience of creating global businesses using these principles, which are quite different to 3D corporate principles that I'm going to be sharing with you.
Looking forward to it. Thanks.
All right. So thanks, Masuma. That sounds good. So we won't be talking in detail about soul contract. We'll be talking more about high levels, fifth dimensional unity consciousness spiritual principles. Okay. But that will allow you to get clear what you're going to do with it to answer your main question. So, or the beginnings of getting clear what you can do in a couple of hours. All right. Okay. So who would like to go next? You can't be shy and hide here, guys, because there's only 4 of you. So go make the most of me. Angel.
Hi, Nicolas. Hi, everybody. Really happy to be here. I did the Divine Healing Level 1 with Nicolas last month, or the month before, which was a total game changer for me. It's changed my life. It's changed how I feel about myself. Changes my feeling of my capability. But I'm still not very good at all the marketing stuff. And I just needed to be here. I'm in the centre of England. on a freezing cold day with 60 million layers. And I'm all excited to share with you all and to learn all about you lot.
Okay, thanks, Angel. Who would like to go next?
I can go
Michael.
next.
Reaching for the mouse. Go for it, mate.
So, I'm originally from England, from Coventry. Grew up in Coventry. Somebody has to, right? So then I moved outside. I'm in Switzerland now. I've been here for 19 years. This is my sort of new adopted home. I love it here. And 4 years ago, I exited from the corporate world. I'd spent 22 years in the corporate world, traditional large companies. And I started up my own coaching business. So overall, I've been pretty happy. I am pretty happy with the way that that's gone in these 4 years. So I'm sort of self-sufficient now, but only self-sufficient, I would say. And I feel like I'm in a transition to the next step, even though I don't know exactly what my next step is looking like. For me, it's about attracting more clients to me directly, because at the moment, a majority of the clients that I get from 2 companies which do the marketing for me. So one is an outplacement company, which is all about helping people to find jobs, also some career coaching as well. And the other one is similar. So it feels to me still like taking half a step back into the 3D matrix by working with these external companies. Yeah, even though their focus is on coaching. So my goal is to, over time, to transition them out and to transition in, attracting clients directly to me. But I'm also not somebody that enjoys doing a lot of personal marketing on LinkedIn, for example. So I'm wondering, what is an authentic way for me to grow my business and take it to the next stage? Hopefully that makes sense.
That's very clear. Very
Thanks.
clear need express it. Thank you, Michael.
Thanks.
Okay. Fabiana, where are you?
Hello, I'm in Brazil. I could tell like a big story, but I guess Masuma summarized it in such a beautiful way. I'm pretty much exactly where she is now. I have a degree in chemical engineering, and I've worked for nearly 20 years as a safety engineer for large corporations in the chemical industry and oil and gas industry. But now I'm transitioning to something new in therapeutical approaches, and it's new. I've done lots and lots of trainings, and it feels like I'm gonna specialize into flower essences, alchemical flower essences, a very particular set of flower essences. But still, I feel that there's something missing, so I'm not really quite sure how to approach that. I was, like Masuma, guided to your book, which I haven't read yet because it hasn't arrived yet. But I find it very, very interesting, and yeah, and like Michael, marketing is not really my strength, so I kind of have a lot to learn about it in order to really step in this new path. So that's why I'm here.
Okay. Fellow chemical engineer. That was my original degree, chemical engineering, a long, long time ago. Yeah. Yeah. I used to work in the space industry on the commercial side before I did this work. So launching very expensive pieces of metal into space and creating some serious pollution in this in the process. That's what I used to do. So
Your gas, oil and gas is very polluting as well.
I used to work in the industry as well in New Zealand a long time ago. So yeah. Okay, so we've got a good range of things. There's a real dichotomy for us light workers. We find therapies which are really resonant to us. We love doing them. We love delivering them, and it's a very feminine sort of approach. And then we have to go and do some sort of marketing to tell people about it, which is often it's very masculine the way we talk to market, and it's complete anathema. It's completely opposite to what we really want to do. What we know, we need to do something, otherwise no one's going to find out about us, and we're not going to have a business. So we're not going to leave our corporate job or whatever parts of it we don't want to be engaged with anymore. So this work is all about how do we wrap enough of the conscious masculine marketing process around a feminine gift so it actually gets out to the world, because the feminine gift by itself will just flounder. Many of our therapists don't get out there because they're allergic to the masculine approach. But what we're doing here is that we're focusing on not maximizing return on investment, which is what most of you are familiar with in the corporate world. It's an A corporation. We're focusing on maximum return on consciousness, which is the more fifth dimensional way. What do I have to do to deliver my gift of service to raise consciousness? And that's the most important thing. And if you do that properly, you'll make a living as well. But we're not focusing on money alone, which is one of the biggest poisons in the world. We're focusing on how do I deliver my gift? What are the essential pieces of known marketing processes, both 3D, but we're going to talk a lot about 5D stuff in the 2-day training we have. How do we actually get it out there? And I've learned a lot of this, and I've learned a lot of this the hard way. So the purpose of the marketing and manifesting a business is to teach you how to do this the easier way. I won't say it's going to be easy, but easier. So you don't use the conditioning, the way you're conditioned, what you think marketing is, or the way you've been brought up in the corporate world is, which it doesn't work in this business fully. Some parts of it work, a lot of it doesn't. It's all about energy, okay, and connection and heart opening, things which you're not taught and which are beaten out of you in the corporate world. Okay, so this is a taste of that training. Okay, so how does that sound, guys? So it's about a paradigm shift, to making a complete shift from the way you've been, I'll say, brainwashed by the corporate world and the matrix to actually what does work. Okay, and we're going to sort of do the beginnings of this process. And there's only so much I can do in a couple of hours. Okay, so let me find my presentation. Okay, still use presentations. There it is. So let me share the screen. Okay.
Is there something that we'll be able to have a copy of, or should we write notes down?
Well, this will be a public YouTube video because there's a whole bunch of other people who are registered, Michael.
Okay.
Yeah, so don't worry about that. A lot of them want it, but they just can't come because they're at work. Okay, so yes, everyone will get a video, an email with a video later on. Okay, so this is what we're going to cover. This is a free taster webinar, really, of marketing and manifesting your business. And so the reason this whole thing was born was because some of our Centre for Conscious Decision practitioners, which is what CFCA stands for, were asking me, how do I market the business? Okay. And because they were asking, how do we do our webinars? And because they're very powerful, they work very well. And so once the third person asked me, I thought, okay, there's a need for this. I need to work out how do I articulate what we do, because I've never actually done that before. It just came organically. So quite early on, it became clear to me that my mission is to help you guys manifest your mission of service. Okay, and we're doing that with all the trainings, but then Mira and I were seeing a bottleneck. People just weren't actually getting out there. So this is why this course came about, and I've been playing with this idea for many years, but at the beginning of this year, it just came to me. I was doing yoga, and my team said to me, my high dimensional guidance team said, okay, we just sit down at the computer, we have the course design. I said, okay, can I do my yoga? They said, no, we need to give you the course design for this course. So I spent an hour and a half writing out the design, channeling it through from them of how we run this business. That's why I'm here. Okay, we know why you guys are here. And so this is about becoming a spiritual entrepreneur. So this is not a normal entrepreneur who's just trying to make money. This is a spiritual entrepreneur. How do we create that, enough of that masculine marketing wrapper, container around your feminine gift, get it out to the world? Okay. So what do you guys think this really is? What's your perception of a spiritual entrepreneur? Anyone want to volunteer what they think that is? Angel?
It's about working with the message for your heart's longing, but actually being able to exist within the world and feed yourself and do it at the same time. But it's to share the unique soul's longing that you came with, the unique message. So the spiritual entrepreneur is motivated by that heart longing more than the money, but we all need to exist as well. We need to live. So
Yeah.
it's that.
It is, yeah. Anyone else want to? There's no wrong answer here. I just want to hear what your perception is, because I'm trying to understand where you are, then we move you forward from there.
But I think for me, it's partly about reaching the right audience. So I've got some gifts, some talents, some knowledge, and it's about reaching the right audience that's going to benefit from those. And in the process, having a fair exchange of energy between us.
Yeah.
So the energy form that I'm looking for return with is, I guess, money most of the time.
Yeah, we've got to pay the bills, the mortgage, feed the family, kids through uni, all that sort of stuff. Okay, anyone else want to share what they perceive that is? It just sort of shows me where you are. So it's okay, exactly where you are. Fabiana?
Yeah, I'd like to share something. I feel that there is a part of me that kind of has some resistance to the idea of marketing, because the way I view things is like, when you are aligned with your purpose, when you're aligned with your essence, when you're really truly aligned, things unfold in a very organic, natural way, and whatever is supposed to be attracted to you will be attracted to you. So, but there is this rational part of me that says that sounds too airy-fairy, and so I get caught in kind of this dichotomy, this sort of internal war about how to really go forward with it. So that's it. But I truly believe that there is, if there is alignment, whatever is supposed to be worked through you and attracted to you will be.
Okay. All right. Ms. Thema, what do you think this is?
I personally am at a place where I want to surrender the part of me that gives money power, like, over my true calling, and just know, like, I guess, like, I'm at a point where I just want to let go of the conditioning and fall into, like, the beingness of knowing that I'm a infinite being. Everything is always available for me, and not worrying about the money, like, for me, it's like safety, like unlatching the safety component, that it keeps me safe, and just like surrendering to that part of me, where knowing, like, deep knowing of I'm going to be okay no matter what. Like, no matter where I go, I have more than what I need, and I get to use my gift to serve. And that's what life is, and not what I do, like, as a career.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Also, I was going to say something to Fabiana. I have a chemistry degree also.
Oh, there you go. Free
I was
chemistry.
an organic chemist for a few years, and then
Me
mother
too.
took me away from the lab, and then I got into alchemy. So here I am.
Well, that's why you had to learn chemistry. So, yeah,
I spent over
Talk about
15 years in the chemical
synchronicity.
industry.
there's four of us now. So, okay, let's keep going. Okay. So, a spiritual entrepreneur, well, this is my view anyway. Take it for what you wish. It's someone who's actualizing their soul journey through the expression of their soul purpose through their spiritual business. So the spiritual business is like an ongoing workshop. It just happens to earn you a living. Okay. And it helps you manifest your soul purpose. And if you get into alignment and flow, as Fabiana was saying, then it should happen. But there are some practical aspects to this in terms of actually getting it out in the world. So how do you become a spiritual entrepreneur? It's an idea at the moment, nice idea, but what are the practical steps? So we begin with the end in mind. Okay. So who wants to share with me their end in mind? Don't worry about how you want to get there. Okay. How would you see yourself? I don't know. It's, conventional 3D terms. You say, well, how do you see yourself in 5 years? With the feeling you have in you, that deep soul drive to be of service. How do you see yourself out in the world? Who wants to share that? And how do you see yourself interacting with the world and people you're going to serve? Because you've got to have a vision of this for it to make it happen. Okay, in order to manifest this. Who would like to share that? Or think about it for a little bit to get clear. And just give it the best shot you have for what you know now. Because the journey of an entrepreneur, you never know the future in great detail. But what is even if it's just the feeling of what you see it, how you see it, or the quality of it, that's fine. That's how you start with this. It's one step at a time. Okay. It's not a corporate business plan where you have it all detailed for the next 5, 10 years. It doesn't work like that at all. Okay.
I think for me, one of the I keep referring back to the soul contract reading work that I did with you or studied with you a few years ago, Nicolas.
Yeah.
I think that's been a profound shift in my thinking about myself, and really continues to help guide my journey. So for me, I think it's all about using skills of communication, developing those communication skills, and taking a little bit of the performer in me. So those 3 threes out into the world in different forms. So beyond the coaching, the one-to-one coaching I'm doing at the moment, I think it's starting a podcast, which I'd love to do next year, and also getting into delivering creative workshops using coaching principles to guide people through those creative workshops, and bringing in things like dance and moving the body in order to help people connect to themselves, their essence, I think.
Okay. Thank you, Michael. It's very important to have a clear idea with what you have now, where you want to be, because that will pull you from the present into the future. When you focus on that, not worrying about how you're going to get there, the detail, the universe will start to rearrange itself and the resources and things will start to turn up. But you have to say what's deep in your heart that comes from the soul. It's a very important part of this. Very important part. And you figure out the detail as you go. Okay, because that's coming from what we call a visionary template. It's coming from the plan for this life. The soul has already worked out. You're just connecting with it. Okay. And the journey of getting there is of this life and business experience is the journey your soul chose to have. Okay. And this can be very fulfilling. You can get in alignment with what truly your soul wants to do. Anyone else want to share what they have? What is the end in mind they have in mind? Angel.
It's multiple, really. I've already got booked in. It's happened not long after we did the Divine Healing Level 1, which I threw myself into. and I'm doing a talk and a demonstration on an introduction to modern energy healing, starting with stress relief, including a meditation, which is a 2-hour introductory thing, which will lead into, in the local area, I wanted to get people out of their houses and off their computers, if it was possible, still doing that work, but having a community, building community in the area where I live. And so that's going to lead into 3 different modules of modern stress management through energy healing and meditation and reframing, etc., etc. But it also, my card reading's gone through the roof. My ability since we did the course has gone through the roof. My intuition and my ability to know what I open my mouth and the right words come out. So I also want to do a podcast. I started my first one today. I got this StreamYard thing sent me a £10 like an entrepreneur packet, really basic. And as I struggle with memory problems, I thought I need something really, really simple so I can record things, check it, and I can post it to YouTube and I can post it onto Facebook. So the readings, I love one-to-one healing sessions, but I also like to get out and do my philosophy of life, if you like. It's to do with energy healing, and it's to do with the person in front of you as a reflection of you, starting with loving yourself and the person in front of you. And I feel so strongly about it. I don't know exactly how it's going to be, but I know it's going to be amazing.
Okay, sounds good. The main thing with this work is just to make a start, even if you don't have the full picture. In the corporate world, you have to have it all figured out, and this is not what it's about. It's doing what opens your heart. What's the next step? It's actually beginning the journey. Any action is better than no action. Okay, so the paralysis through analysis, which you can get in the corporate world because they want to have it all figured out to minimize errors, does not work here. Okay, what is your heart drawing you to do next? Okay, anyone else want to share what they have the end in mind? Because in naming it, you're starting to make it real. You're starting to manifest it. This is very important. All right. We'll move on then to the next one. Okay. So the end in mind is that delivery of your gift of service, as a couple of you shared. And that is not always clear straight away as we awaken. So honing this down, what is your specific gift of service that you want to bring to the world? And the more specific you are, the easier it is to attract people. Okay. To your dream client avatar, ideal client, basically, that you love working with and they love working with you. So it's very important to discover who really wants this. Okay. And you may not know who that is straight away. All right. So bringing the two together is really important here. Just want to get, I just need to find my pen. Here it is. It's just turned up. Just get my annotate button, my bar here. Really important to get clear. Define the gift that you're wanting to deliver here. And then it can't be vague. Oh, I just want to help the world. It's a bit vague. And who do you want to deliver this gift to? Okay. All right. My gift of service is to develop and continuously develop and share the most cutting-edge consciousness raising tools in the world. That's what we're well known for. And delivering some of the finest trainings in the world with it. So we deliver soul contract reading trainings to help people find the spiritual map of their life. Okay, and within that, they're going to discover the gift of service. Divine healing training so they can clear all the issues in their soul contract to get on with the mission. And what we call Lightbody integration to embody high consciousness. So our primary gift is to train practitioners in that, and now also to help practitioners roll that to the world. And my dream client avatar is usually professionals like you guys who will do whatever it takes to get your gift out there. You seriously mean business, otherwise you wouldn't be here. So we don't teach beginners. We teach people who have a lot of life experience, know what they're doing, and will give it everything they can because there's no alternative. It's the only way to go. So that's how we work with. We work with the people on the right-hand side of the bell curve. You guys, not beginners, but serious punters, you say in England, people who seriously want to get on with it. That's who we work with. So that's it's taken me a long time to get to that, but that's who I work with. And 80-90% of my women from 30s onwards, usually a few younger ones, but mainly 30s onwards, professional, completely committed. It's the purpose of their life. It's why they were born. That's my dream client avatar. And so they give it everything. They don't hold back. They're not here for playtime. They're here to do serious business, the business of awakening on the planet. Okay. So let's talk about the next step. So what is your gift of service to the world? And this is what you're most passionate about and love to do in this field. Gallup did a survey a decade or two ago in the corporate world, and they discovered that 89% of people are emotionally disconnected from their work because they're not passionate about what, and they do not love what they do. Sounds familiar? I call them the grey people, okay? Because I go to London maybe once every couple of months and I sit with them on the train, and it's not a happy place. I sit at home in my fifth dimensional bubble. I'm pretty happy. I love what I do, okay? I used to be one of those people, but fortunately my job was really interesting. I actually loved my job up to until close to the end, and I decided that was enough. Okay, because it was space, it was communications, all things I'm interested in, and working with the best people in the world to actually make a difference with space communications. So, and it's very rare to have the opportunity in this life to do what you're passionate about and love to do and get paid for it. That's the opportunity you have in this business. So it's well worth the effort. Because once you start on this journey, as you guys know, it's very hard to go back to the corporate world. It's like living death, basically. I did try to go back when things were not good cash flow wise, but the universe suddenly switched the taps on and clients started coming in and saying, no way you're going back to the corporate world. That was about 6-7 years in when we were having a rough time financially. So, and then that gift of service is to be found in your soul contract, in your physical and spiritual karma, okay, because the biggest challenges we face are our training. And if we can overcome those karmic challenges, that becomes our gift that we have to deliver to the world. I mean, my gifts are my physical karmas are three, being unworthy to be loved and being shy, unworthy to show myself. And I've overcome that. And my gift of that is to be a communicator, a teacher, an author. That's taken a couple of decades. My spiritual karma is a 9, which is about great disempowerment as a child. And I've overcome most of that, still working on it. Everyone's in work in progress. And now my gift is to empower guys like you to get on with the mission. My soul destiny is a 9-9 as well. So I'm here to catalyze you to get on with your mission. But if I hadn't done a lot of work on this, like with divine healing and other tools, I couldn't be talking to you like this, okay, at all. So whatever the hard stuff is for you and in your karmic patterns, that's actually your gift. It's very important to turn into it and overcome it. Most people turn away from it and go into avoidance, and life is very unhappy and miserable because they don't have the tools and consciousness, okay? But we provide those sort of tools, what we do at the Center for Conscious Ascension. So the pathway is to turn into the hard stuff, which actually is the gateway to a much more fulfilling life, the last thing that most people expect. Okay, the last thing. Most people numb out and just settle for second or third best. But not you guys. So, okay, I'm going to do some of the practical stuff now. We're going to do this exercise in pairs. Thank you, Michael, for turning up. Otherwise, it'll be a threesome, but now we're going to do it in pairs. To help each other get to what your true gift of service is. Okay? So Are you all familiar with Zoom breakout rooms? Anyone not familiar? Everyone's okay? So we're going to put you in 2 pairs in Zoom breakout rooms. And what I want you to do, I'm just going to check my schema work on my other screen here in terms of time. Yeah, we're going to have 20 minutes. Okay, you have 20 minutes in the space. You've got 10 minutes each way. All right, and what I want you to do is share as best you can to your partner. And you're going to have to be an active listener as a partner and write down the key points that your partner's saying to you. And some things they may have never said before because they've never been given this opportunity. So don't hold back when you're speaking because you're going to have to discover some amazing treasure and gems in this. Okay, so you just say what you feel your gift of service is exactly as it is. Don't be embarrassed and don't feel it should be more evolved than that, but just say it where it is from this point. Your partner writes it down, and then I have a little timer on the top right corner. So once your partner's, remember, you've got maximum 10 minutes. So allow a couple of minutes at the end of the first 10 minutes so that the active listener is then to feed back to their partner, say, I heard you say. And you list off the key points they said. It's a very powerful process because most people have never heard, never articulated what their gift was, let alone have someone affirm that for them. It's very powerful, and just feel what happens to your consciousness. Okay, because what we're doing is we're making this very real. We're putting the sound vibration out of that gift. Then it starts to form. Then we get excited. Then we start to work out, okay, what's the next step? Okay, from that. All right, and then we'll all come back to the main room and we'll talk about how that was. Because we've got to get clear what as best we can, what it is, and you'll move forward in a big step for what that is. But honing the gift of service takes quite a long time. But the main thing is to make a start. Okay. Because you've got to get it to the form, enough of a form where it's worth, okay, say, okay, now I can go and test this out in the marketplace. Okay, and see how people respond. The only way you're going to find out if it's going to work is you've got to go and test it. You need to have enough knowledge to find out, have I got to enough of a state where I can go and test something? Okay. So we're not trying to figure it all out here. The left brain will go a bit crazy on this. We're trying to get to the feeling in the soul that's going through you, what this is. Hear it, say it, hear it back in this mirror conversation, and then say, now I heard that, and this is feeling more real. So you made the first step, okay? Because you all have tons of ideas in your head. We're trying to get those ideas out in the world and start to coalesce them into reality, okay? Right. So, I mean, the way we do marketing, the Center for Conscious Attention, we just get an idea, make it viable enough in terms of what we think is the proposition and try it out. I mean, from the download of this workshop, Marketing Manifesting Your Business, the workshop was 3 weeks. I downloaded it, I worked out how to market it, I sent it out. We had 12 people on the first workshop. They had an amazing time. And so I was market testing this. And then I thought, we'll just try it once, see if it works. And then it turns out people loved it. So we decided to run 2 a year. It was going to be 1 a year. And then people said, I can't wait a year. So I said, okay, we'll do another one. So another 12 people turned up. The next one. This is how this whole thing started, because I just market tested an idea. I got the basic concept of it, and then just tried it out to see what would happen. And that's actually the fastest development path for any product or service. Okay, much faster than trying to figure it all out, because often when our mind tries to figure out these sort of services, it's usually going down the wrong track. The market will tell you, okay, what they like, and in that you're going to discover who your ideal client avatar is as well. Because you may think one thing, but it may not be that at all. Okay, or maybe some other variant of that. So you've got to test it in the real world, which is what we're going to do here with this. Everyone clear on that? Okay. All right. So, okay. So we're going to pick partners now. So let's have a look here. Right. So, Fabiana, who are you drawn to work with? Because there's one right person to work with here. Okay. Everyone put your mics on.
I guess Michael.
Okay. Right. So, Masuma and Angel, you're together. So I'm going to have two. See, there's two pairs. I'm going to record on one computer, one room, and the other computer, the other room, because I want the guys who haven't come to see how the process works so they can do it for themselves. Okay. So just be yourself, because you're going to get a lot out of this. Okay. All right. So is everyone clear on the process? Spend about 7 minutes, 8 minutes articulating the gift of service. That may be plenty of time, it may not. Then your partner feeds back for another 2 or 3 minutes to a total of 10 minutes. And the countdown time, once it hits 10, you need to swap over where the active listener then shares for 7 minutes or so what they perceive their gift of service is, and the previous speaker becomes the active listener. Okay. I'll be moving between the two rooms. Okay. All right. Is everyone clear on the process? Okay. So, all right. So let us form. I'm going to form the rooms here. Hang on. Where are we? I've just realized that they don't allow you to do breakout rooms on webinars. Hang on. Okay. Hang on. I need to change the configuration of this. Okay. How do we do that? Let me just pause this.
Another gift that I have is I'm able to take complex concepts and break it down into bite-sized, easy to digest information bits so that they're able to understand it. So I think that there's a little bit of a teacher in me.
Yeah.
Who's able to be patient and, you know, present something in various angles so that the person that I'm speaking to understands by relating it to them. And yeah, that's, I believe, that I have. One of my favorite gifts that I have, I'm truly capable of unconditionally loving people. So even if it's someone that has harmed me, wronged me, or whatever, I'm able to become aware of something that I'm triggered about, and like transmuting it within me so that I can give the love and respect to that person and see them for where they are in their journey.
Cool. There's a lot of writing here.
What is that?
A lot of writing, trying to capture all of that.
Oh, sorry. Should I go slower?
I just don't want to miss anything out. Calmed you.
I'll wait for you.
Transmuting triggers and
Mm-hmm.
Where did you go from transmuting triggers?
So that I can be fully present with the person and see them in their journey and not allow it to be a reflection of me, so that I can fully unconditionally love them and guide them. So like as a coach, if someone, this is an example for you, if someone is triggering in me something that I haven't accepted about myself, I'm able to mute it so that I don't let it taint my ability to help someone in their journey.
That's very powerful. That's very powerful to be able to do that.
Thank you.
So that you can continue to heal them, so that you can continue your work.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I mean, it takes practice.
It does.
Yeah. Another gift I have is the gift of design, branding, logos. So like,
artistic as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you're very artistic.
I am, yeah.
You are very artistic. But it's imaginative and artistic as well. To branding is more than just being able to draw pretty pictures and nice flowers, isn't it? It's being able to see what somebody represents and make it into something.
Yeah.
The world can say, oh, this branding represents who they are. Yeah. So I'm going to put branding. I put artistic, but it actually doesn't actually cover it.
Yeah, I would call it design, like graphic design, I guess. Or branding.
Are we doing for time? Oh, we're okay.
Oh, I should have taken time.
We've got a clock on the top right hand side. We've still got another 2 minutes yet before I can feed it back to you, unless you.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, ready for the design.
Yeah, the first thing I said, because it wasn't recorded, was truly seeing and hearing someone, like being fully present with who they are and accepting all their beingness as they are.
Seeing and hearing. Just bear with me a minute. Seeing, hearing, and their beingness. I can identify with so much of this. I'm not going to be able to know what to say when it's my turn.
And that's okay. Maybe that's why we were paired up.
It's happened quite a few times when I did Nicolas's other program. That's exactly what happened. I'm still really great mates with 2 people. We meet up all the while. So go on.
I believe that I'm a good storyteller. So through stories or through analogies, I'm able to help someone understand a concept and see something from a different angle that they haven't considered before. So like if we're talking about this cup of coffee and you're looking at it from your angle and I'm looking from my angle, I'm able to paint a picture for you to look at it from another angle where you're seeing it from a different point of view, and it can be all encompassing and easier to understand as a whole, because I value holistic, like acceptance of everything as it is and not just from one angle.
Ever heard of Marshall Rosenberg? Nonviolent communication. No, you just triggered me a thought. Any feedback? Go on.
Yeah, I'll write it down.
That's a lot of stuff you told me.
Okay, I think I'm done. Those are the highlights of what I believe about myself. To be my gift.
Beautiful. I love just even listening. And I felt like I really got you through what you said. And I could actually, I don't want to take from you and give it to myself. What you said is still your story, but I could identify and feel that what you were saying was the truth. You feel like a peacemaker. You feel like a person who sits there and puts the pieces together for people in a conflict as part of what you do, because you're getting to the core of it and seeing who they really are underneath the story of what seems to be going on here. So you said you believe your gift is truly seeing and hearing people fully present and extract the positive aspects about themselves. So you're mirroring back the things that they need to focus on, the things that will heal them. And you're able to take complex things and break them down so that they can understand. And that mirrors in with what you said later about the analogies. You know, when you will say a for instance story, it happened to a friend like this, and you're trying to tell somebody a story because you're trying to illuminate to somebody a different way of looking at it and a different outcome than the road that they're walking down. And I can see that. So you're taking complex things and break them down so they can understand, and mirroring it back to them. And you're well-rounded, and the story's well-rounded, and it's well considered. You're not just giving them platitudes. You're actually looking at all around it, like the cup you just showed me. You're looking at all of those aspects so they can understand. And you love unconditional, and that's your gift. It's unconditional love. This seeing the humanness beneath the story of everybody that comes to you for help and support. Even if they've harmed you, that's a huge gift. Once you're able to see the people who are hurt people who are unaware hurt people. People don't realize how much harm they're doing to us because they're hurting and they're lashing out, and sometimes we can be convenient, and it can be very triggering, and it's very hard sometimes to transmute triggers, because we've all had harm done to us. We've all had our journey where we've had harm done to us, and it said you can be fully present and see them in their journey so you can fully guide them. Beautifully put. That's beautiful. If someone is triggering something in me, I can mute it, you said, so I can continue to heal them. So you mean you're capable of listening without it reaching in and destroying your flow. You stay in the flow. Whatever they throw at you, you're grounded. You're a very grounded person, because only a very grounded person can actually do that and stay in the flow. So you're very artistic. So this is a good bit. Artistic. Branding from the heart, I wrote. Graphic design. The idea is that you can visually see something that represents what they are offering. And that's part of how you work, really. I'm not surprised when I think about it that that's what you are able to do. That you see a visual representation of what they're trying to achieve. That's brilliant. And you talk about truly seeing and hearing their beingness and honouring their beingness, really. I'd love to know what you think their beingness. What exactly do you mean?
So,
oh, my summing up's eating my time.
Yeah, I guess it's more like holding space for people exactly where they are, and not and like having them not be judged, feel judged for who they are. And so like I feel like it's a gift. It's a true gift to hold space for people, even in their messiest parts.
It absolutely is. So I have to say, I know we've gone right into my time and I haven't got very much time now, but it doesn't matter. They have so many things about your gifts. My gifts, I came from a very, very troubled family, lived with loads of different people, and learned that everybody's version of the truth is different. There is no such thing as truth, absolute truth, except if dark and light. But within people and within emotions, so many different things are truth, and you have to honor the person in front of you. All the things you said about loving people unconditionally and I reframe things as well. It's what I do as a healer. I'm also an intuitive. I do card readings, healing, and I do talking therapy, which it sounds very similar to you, where I do reframing for people, and I do the what if this scenario, which is what you were talking about as well. Where you tell the news story. That'll be. I'm really sorry. Let's see if I can get her. Yeah. And so a lot of the things that you said are my gift. I've known since I was a child. My unconditional. I love the person in front of me, and that is the thing. My Facebook is full of it. Only love will heal the world. But we have to love ourselves first. We have to love the person in the mirror first. We have to find a way to accept ourselves for all the things that we didn't get right, and not let them cloud our judgment of who we are. And when we recognize the beauty within ourselves and within our own story, we all have to have a song. We can't just we can't just slide through life and nothing happens to us. We have to have those dark and light to choose. We keep choosing then. We choose which way we're going to go. So I'm choosing love. I'm choosing healing, and I'm choosing to talk to the person at the bus stop, to talk to the person in the shop, to talk to everybody, to smile at kids if they're on the bus or anywhere, and just to involve the world, to bring the sense of community is really strong in me, to have loving community like we had when I was a child, because that's how people thrive. That's how children thrive, when they understand that the world's not against them. I have such a feeling of love for humanity. My bottom line on everything is only love will heal the world. My webpage is Heal Pain with Love. And like you, it's all about love. And it's all about, I look at you now writing that, and I've just listened to your story, and I'm thinking, what a lovely girl. What a lovely, lovely lady. I can feel you. And that gives me great joy. And each person that comes in front of me, I'm looking for all the ways that we are alike, all of the ways that we can help each other, all of the ways that we can communicate. I'm not looking for flaws, faults, problems. I'm not looking for any of those things. I'm looking for the light, and I'm joining with that light. And in that, I make almost instant best friends who stay with me for years. And I call them the tribe. They're not my tribe. We are a tribe of light workers, of lovers of life, of lovers of people. I'm so passionate about what I do, my healing, my card reading. And I just done that thing for David, with David, the Divine Healing Level 1. I did the soul contract, and it talks about the love in the soul part, and it talks about the teacher. I'm like you. I teach people. I teach people to reframe life so they can thrive within it. How to thrive even when superficially it looks like everything is really, really rotten. But we've still got enough time. I'm still going. And what else is my gift? A gift of acceptance. The gift of not joining with all of the nonsense that's going on in the world. And I believe that good will always win, and that people basically are good and kind and generous. But the narrative out there is to make us all afraid of each other, but also to make us all responsible for each other through the COVID thing and what have you. And I got myself a bit lost and raveled here. This is me, the heart chakra. This I was just doing a podcast, my first podcast, and that was the first card I got. And that's where it all starts. It starts with learning to love yourself. And like you, appreciating our gifts and strengths. I also do the reframing like you do. You have lots and lots of gifts and strengths, which you've shared with me. Lots. And I do the same thing. I do so much the same as you. That's why I've had to go on this rant. And I hope you can see through all of the rant that it's very, very similar. My creative thing is that I make soap and perfumey things, and I crochet and I knit. And I like to be creative also. And it gives me great pleasure when I make something and I wear it and I value it, something that I've created. And it can be a £1 ball of wool in a sale, but I've made a cowl out of it and it's gorgeous. And I don't know what to say, to be honest. I think you better give me my stuff back. It's less than a minute we've got. You better tell me back who you think I am. We've only got
Beautiful. So the highlights of what you said you can have extra time, so Angel has enough time. Okay, so do you feel complete with telling me what you believe your gifts are?
My gifts are in standing in front of people. I love to talk, and I love to take people through a process. So all of these things together, we've already said. My gift's in there somewhere. I might have forgotten the main part of it. I don't know. I'm a bit scatty, but that will accept that. That'll do.
Perfect. All right, so I will give you what I picked up.
Well then,
You already know that, but we both have a lot of similarities in our gifts. So one of the earlier ones that you mentioned is reframing, your ability to reframe something so that someone can look at it so that they're like you create polarity within their beliefs, so that if they believe something, you can give them another option and you can transmute that thing that they're stuck on.
yeah.
Through your talk therapy and your gift of healing and intuition. And you're a great teacher. Not only do you like to stand in front of people and talk, but also whether you can do this both one-on-one and one-to-many. So that's an amazing gift to have. I love that at the core of you embody love, like true unconditional love, with who you are, what you believe, and what you put out into the world. Through your Facebook, all your posts are love heals all the world, like the whole world. I think that you're vibrating at a frequency. You have ascended to the vibration of love and above. So like, I don't know, Dr. Hawkins has a list of levels of consciousness, and you have hit that point where it's just beautiful after, like you hit that point where it's hard to bring you down now because you hit the point of 5D, living in 5-dimensional world. I love that you value tribe and you make friends easily. You're very personable. You're very loving. And so your energy speaks before you. You don't have to even try. Like you can be the life of the party because you're magnetic. People come to you wherever you are because of your energy, because of who you are, your essence, because of what you vibrate. I love what you said about absolute truth. That was one of my favorite things, how there is no absolute truth. Everyone has their experience of life. Everyone is on their journey, and this is what they experience. And you're able to see that. You're like me, you're all encompassing. You're not able to you're able to see the whole thing. It's like a holistic concept and not just one thing. And so you two are a peacemaker as a result of being able to see that there's no one absolute truth, and you can make opposing parties see the same thing from their angles, and also vice versa, so that you can create that peace. Also, you mentioned you feel people, so I love that you're kinesthetic. I think being able to feel is such a beautiful gift that not many people have. And so that makes you a little more, it makes you perfect for the line of work that you're doing, for your intuition, for your card reading, for your talk therapy, because you're able to feel you're able to merge with that person and be able to guide them wherever they are, guide them to the next level of consciousness or the next wherever they want to go. Authenticity is what I heard in your voice. So you said I have my own songs. And so I love that you don't just go with the flow, or you're not a sheep. You value, like, you have your own song and you're like, hey, this is where I am. You know who you are, your core. And again, that makes you magnetic, because people who are truly authentic, we're drawn to them naturally because of the vibration that they put out. And your gift is truly self-love, because it starts with self-love, self-acceptance. So once you were able to transmute your own shadow and get to the true, like, self-love, self-acceptance, you're able to do that to others, huh?
That was just so massive. When to transmute your own shadow.
Yeah.
Do that.
Through self-love and self-acceptance. Because once you do, then you can do that for others.
Yeah,
Everyone mirrors you.
Yeah, everything changes. It does. Once you dare grab that bag round the front and say, okay, then put your hand in and pull it out. What are you? What do I need to do about you? What do I need to forgive? What do I need to learn? And what do
Mhm.
I need to learn to love about myself? What do I need to let go? And I did
Yeah.
it with everything. And it took a lot of doing.
Mhm.
But the gift since then, it's like being a different person.
Mhm.
It was huge. It was huge. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Another component of your authenticity is truly your art. You're able to, like, you don't get stuck in like, I can't do this. Like the ego doesn't rule you. Your heart does. And you're like, oh, I'll make it. I'll make soaps. I'll crochet. I'll make it myself. So nothing can stop you. That's amazing.
In myself. Healing spray. I spray it on my face before I start working.
Yeah.
When I breathe it in, okay, I'm in the zone now. Let's get on with it.
Yeah. I think I have summed it up.
You're very generous and very kind with that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was lovely. It was lovely to engage with you. It was lovely listening to you and listening to all of those aspects and thinking, oh my God, we're so alike. That is
Yeah.
incredible. But you've got better words than I have. I get excitable, and my better words then go out of the window because
No,
I'm
I
doing.
think it was perfect. I completely understood where you are.
Yeah.
And exciting is fun. I love it. I wish I had more energy, more excitement. I feel like I'm very like calm. I have a very calm demeanor. Oh, you nailed it when you said I'm a peacemaker.
Yeah.
That has been my role since like ever since I remember I was a kid. My father told me a story about how I was playing a peacemaker at 3 years old. So it was interesting to me that you nailed it. I love that you coined that term. Now I'm gonna write it down because like I love it.
Well, you put it on your spiritual CV. You are a peacemaker because a peacemaker, like Marshall Rosenberg says, you don't engage with the story of battle between two people. You look for what underneath, what is happening underneath, and what do both people, both sides need for the situation to heal.
Mhm.
Marshall Rosenberg, look for him. It's non-violent communication because it's a game changer when you read it. I think you already intuitively, in your own way, with your own words, already know it, a lot of that. But there's little key things in there, like going underneath the story,
Mhm.
because the story never ends. There's always he said, she said. The story never ends unless there's real looking for what needs to change for the story to stop.
Yeah.
And that's the incredible bit about his work. That this,
Marsh, what was the name? Marsha
Marshall
Rosenberg?
Rosenberg.
How do you spell that? Marshall? Marshall?
Yeah, Rosenberg. And I'm trying to think if it's an
Okay,
ER
I'll read it.
or URG. But have a look.
Yeah. I don't know if we're supposed to tell Nicolas we're complete or do we leave the room? How does it work? Oh, there is one more thing I do want to mention. The gift of dissociation. So in order for, because like, you know, we get stuck in our, oh, okay, thank you. We get stuck in our story. We get stuck in our stories. And I believe that like I have the gift of dissociating people from their attachment to that identity or to that stuck state, pulling them away from it so that when they look at it, they can like creating this a gap or space between them and their problem, and being able to look at it so that they can pull themselves away from it and not be attached and not be stuck.
That is a hell of a powerful thing to be able to do, because people are remarkably stuck to their stories and often they don't even understand why they are. But it's because it's something that belongs to them. You are trying to take something of me away from me without stopping to analyze what that thing is, actually that misery that they're holding on to, or that's that, you know, that attitude towards somebody or something, that if they actually came across it now, would they choose it? would they choose that? They probably wouldn't. It's something that it's an old pattern of behavior and response from often childhood hurt. And it's
Mhm.
to be able to dissuade somebody, reframe somebody away from the need to pursue that line of inquiry, if I want a better way of putting it. That
Yeah.
is quite a gift.
Mhm.
It is quite a gift, and
I
takes
discovered
a lot
it. Yeah, I
of,
discovered it on accident because I was stuck in pain for so long that it became unbearable. And I'm
yeah,
like, okay, how can I like, because at that time I didn't know anything about coaching, healing, and all that stuff. And so I was like, I need, like, I guess I figured out how to naturally reframe, dissociate, pull myself back, observe myself from a detached standpoint, give myself advice, coach myself, and
yeah,
get through it. And I was like, whoa, this is so cool.
yes. And my love came about from not being loved and loving myself, learning to love myself. And that even came down to lying in bed and actually stroking my own arm, stroking my own hair, and mirror work, being in total despair, and hating myself. And I'd not read about mirror work. It was really funny. I was guided to do it. Looking in the mirror until you can bear to look at yourself. And one day, this beautiful golden being of light looks back at you through your eyes with a gentle face, and you see your eternal self. There's a magic that happens with mirror work. Look into it. I don't know if you've ever done it, but
Oh, I have, definitely.
you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, this is the superficial earth self, the earth skin, the earth ego awareness, etc., etc. But when you get lost underneath all of that is this beautiful being of light that looks at you through your eyes, and you think, oh yeah, that's who I am. I'd forgotten.
Exactly. For
Yeah,
me, when I do mirror work, I see the inner child. Like that's not just
yeah,
like the light being, but like it's like it's so easy to love children, right?
yeah,
Like
absolutely.
young children. It's truly like I feel like children are a piece of God. And so like I get into my inner child, you know, like the essence of God, the peace of God that I have within me, the light.
Mm,
And I love that. That was um, one of my methods to help myself heal.
yeah, beautiful, really beautiful. Have you ever gone back to an aspect of you that was in total pain? Have you ever taken yourself back in a healing session and spoken to your aspect that was in agony and felt totally alone? And that again is one of the most that is real reframing. When you can do that with that aspect, it knocks everything down between then, and it knocks a lot down from then to here. And it's like that story that was there between there and here. It's sort of knocked out a little bit, sort of let go. It doesn't have the power to energize and trigger you anymore. So I've gone back, and I went back to a 12-year-old version of me who'd undergone some very, very traumatic, horrible period of her life. And that was incredible. But then I went back to the baby aspect of myself. Oh, that was incredible. You fall in love with yourself, and that's when you start to fall in love with yourself. When you have compassion for the little child that you were. And you're just a bigger version of you've just been making it up as you go along and doing the best that you can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There was one I was waiting for you to be. I was waiting for you to finish. There was one more thing. Oh, my most recent thing that I'm working on
Yeah.
is like so before I was stuck. Okay, I was stuck on positivity. Okay, and only highlighting the positive aspects of people. But like now I'm allowing myself to present to people or to tell people when something is not a good belief to have. I have found the courage to highlight the aspect of them that's not serving them with this
Yeah.
belief that is holding them back. So like now, instead of always encouraging them, I think that it's part of authenticity, like to truly, truly be authentic with someone and to tell them the truth, even if it hurts.
Yeah. We
Guys,
got to
we
go
can come
back.
back to the main room now. So
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, but we're having a great time. We don't want
I know
to.
we've got more to do.
Feel what the other person wants or needs, and bringing it down to a pragmatic level. So even though there's a very etheric side to my personality, the ability to try to bring these etheric concepts down to a tangible, practical level. I think secondly, there's something about communication. And I think there's a little bit of a performer in me. May not be so obvious sometimes, but there's a little bit of a joker in me, a sort of playful side to me. And I think the effect that can have on other people, if I use it correctly, is it tends to have an uplifting, I think, positive effect on the mood, sort of lightness to it. And for me, in the spirit of connection, I think it's a way that I sometimes connect to people and show my appreciation towards them. Yeah, it's with that little performer, that sort of playfulness. But the communication goes beyond that. It's also about, some people have said to me that when I explain something, it seems quite clear. So I'm sure that's not true 100% of the time, of course not. But I seem to be able to explain things without using too many words, perhaps, which can be a plus, but also a minus sometimes. But let's call it a plus overall. Yeah. And I think there's probably, as part of that communication, maybe we could put a style around the communication. And one of those styles is a teaching style. So a little bit of a teacher in me, so enjoying communicating concepts to people that hopefully help them to understand themselves better and that move them forward in some way on their journey. You know, sometimes it's about soul contract. I still do some soul contract readings, would like to do more of them. So I enjoy, you know, explaining some of the concepts around that. Just as one simple example. And I think I like I like being challenged with the difficult questions as well. You know, sometimes, you know, the idea of getting to a level of maybe my own understanding, spiritual development, and having maybe a workshop of people, you know, fire questions back at me. And in some way being able to respond to those questions. Yeah, I'm starting to run out of some steam there. Actually, sorry, I forgot to put the timer on.
No problem.
So what I'm talking to you about now is partly my 3 3s, which are in the goal position. I don't remember if it's spiritual or physical, but it's in a goal position. My karma, my biggest karma is 4 sets of 4s. Sorry, 2 sets of 4s. So 4 4s. And for that, actually, it was a good reminder from Nicolas to look at that as being part of my talent. Because I usually think of the talent positions as being the natural area to focus my attention on. But if I include those 4s, I'm not sure actually what that brings, but it brings, I think, a positive spirit. There is a lot of positivity behind me, I think, in general. When my mind isn't in spiraling downwards thoughts, I'm much better than I was now. There's abundance behind it as well, but I'm not sure if that's a gift that I offer to other people. Yes, I think it goes along probably with the teaching energy, the ability to communicate concepts accurately. Yeah, I'd have to remind myself what's actually behind that, but it's something to do with communicating, I think, concepts. Maybe in the original form that it was shared with me. Yeah, I tend to be quite faithful to the people that have taught me, and tend to be quite good at sharing those concepts back the way they were explained to me, but maybe blending them together. Yeah, so blending different concepts together to create something a little bit new. So I think I'm going to stop there. I didn't put the timer on, so I want to make sure that we're leaving time for you as well. And I'm running out of steam on myself as well.
Okay, you mentioned 3 as a goal and 4 as karma. I'm not really sure I quite understand those because I haven't read the book yet. So could you talk briefly about them?
Sorry, so we talk about different. So if you think about a simple model of a human being, so simple of a model of a human being would be that we're all born into the world with natural talents. So things that we have a natural proclivity towards, and that we can relatively easily become good at doing. We're also born with things that are difficult for us as well. So we can call.
Now, I know the concepts in the Star of David. I just don't know specifically about the 3 and the 4.
Okay. So the 3 is all about communication. It's communication energy. And the 3 tend to be the performers in the world, like the dancers, the actors, singers, people like that. So maybe people that enjoy a little bit of the spotlight. But it goes along with a sense of unworthiness as well. So that's often the challenge in the karmic position, is to show up and to risk to be seen. Yeah, and that's very much part of my journey. Yeah. And for the 4/4s, it's about abundance. That's a key theme. So the ability to duplicate. So for example, duplicate knowledge. And in the negative aspect of it, one of the key challenges is a lot of negative spiraling thoughts. So a lot of, which led in my case to a lot of fear. When I first started my business, I remember lying in bed on more than one occasion, sort of shaking my fist at God, saying, "You bugger, you've forgotten me, haven't you?" And getting very angry, but behind the anger was a lot of fear. So, yeah. And happily, that's something I've been able to more or less work through. Yeah, which has really, I think, opened up a lot more possibility for me. Yeah.
Sure, definitely. Yeah, okay, let me get some water. It's very interesting. So I guess I'm now supposed to reflect back to you what you said. Is that?
That's right, exactly, yeah.
That's right, yeah?
Yeah.
So, so what I took notes, of course, I was not able to take notes of everything you said. You said quite a lot, but you talked about, as your particular gift of service, that you feel that, you're very insightful when you're coaching one-to-one. You have this deep, pragmatic, very tangible intuition of what the person you are interacting with needs at that moment, and you are able to tap into that and clearly reflect back to them what it is that they need at that particular moment. So you have this sort of etherical nature to you, but still you're able to tap into that etherical world and bring down into very tangible ways knowledge and contribution to others through that. And that is part of your communication skills. And also this particular side of your communication skills as a performer, this playful side, this joker side that is really good at uplifting people when they're feeling rather down. Bringing some lightness back to them so that they can see a way out, that they can see the positive side of what they're going through and the learning behind it. And it's also a way for you to appreciate people through your playfulness. So you have one of your strong skills is clear communication. And also not only clear, but concise, precise. You're able to convey whatever it is that you need to convey very effectively, but very concisely. It's just a few words, and you get the message through in a very profound and effective way. So together with your communication skills, so you have this teaching ability, this ability to communicate sometimes rather complex concepts in a way that people can easily understand. And it's your main goal with teaching those concepts is to help people understand themselves better and be happier. So you mentioned that you do soul contract readings, and that you also find and you use all of those skills in your readings, communication and teaching skills. But you also find it very exciting to be challenged with difficult questions when you're working with larger groups. So you have this ability to be very precise about the way you teach, about the way you convey your message, but at the same time you're very faithful to your original teachings, the way you originally learned those concepts, but still you creatively add your own way to relate to those concepts when you are transmitting them.
Mm-hmm.
And you also talked about your your difficulties, like with the 3-3 and 4-4. Not only the bright aspect, but the difficult aspects of struggling with unworthiness, which I suppose at this point, the whole of humanity has been. And also with negative thoughts, which is also a very common thing nowadays, and fear. And the way you've learned to work with these energies and overcome the difficulties and bring it and extract the learning from that.
Very good.
I guess that's it.
Very good. Just on time. Yeah, it's interesting because I observed two things when you were talking. One was I noticed that I think you embellished a little bit what I said, which was interesting to see how what I said actually landed in you. And as you embellished it, it actually enriched my understanding in one or two cases of myself. Yeah, so I won't go into detail because of time. The second thing I noticed was that when you were talking, there were one or two reactions in me which said, can I really sit here and have you believe that that's my talent? So it's this sense of unworthiness again that's just a little bit triggered when I hear some of what you say. Yeah, do I have the right to be able to say that about myself? But anyway, let's move over to you. Thank you for reflecting that back to me. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, you did. Could I ask your soul destiny number?
12-3.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And yours?
That's my worldly karma. 12-3.
Ah, okay. Okay, cool. So maybe there's a reason we came together.
Well, my soul destiny number is 14-5.
You guys got to start going the other way now. Okay, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So I was just mentioning that I was 14-5, which I suppose is related to one of my gifts, which is the ability to reflect back to people. And that is, of course, goes in all ways possible, not only positive, but also what they have inside that they don't really want to deal with. So it's kind of a challenging ability in that sense, because it can get very confrontational to people sometimes when people are not really into a deeper knowledge of themselves. They can get really, really triggered by my reflections. But anyways, so about my gift, well, what makes me tick? What makes me tick is knowing who I am beyond this facade, beyond this. So knowing my timeless, infinite nature, that's what ticks me deeply. I have this so my spiritual karma is 8-8, so 8-8. So I struggle with all those aspects that have to do with being incarnated in a body. So I'm all about, escaping the body. I'm all about going, and that's my learning how to be here, how to anchor in this reality without losing the perspective of who I really am. So that's what makes me tick. And of course, that's what I I would like to offer people the possibility of broadening, at least broadening their perspective about what they are, what this reality is about, and how they could put an end to their suffering and make the most out of this experience. So I resonate a lot with the concept of mental alchemy. So transmuting these challenges that we come with to this experience, whatever they are, through our consciousness, through our getting conscious of them, and then transmuting whatever needs to be transmuted, be it emotional, mental, energetic, physical, whatever challenge needs to be transmuted, but in a conscious way, which can be very, very challenging at this point in time for humanity as a whole, as a collective, because there's a lot of traumatic memories and limiting beliefs that make us freeze in a way that makes it difficult for us to move forward in our understanding of who we are and what this is all about. And so throughout my own experience, I realized sometimes we need to use some complementary tools to just knowledge, just mental knowledge, just mental understanding. We need to get use of some other aids. So I particularly work with flower essences as a complement to this mental alchemy work. So in order to get people to stabilize themselves enough to be able to, sit and meditate, which is something impossible for most people. And because there's too much restless in the body, too many conflicting emotions going on inside, too much fragmentation going on. So I believe that we need some sort of aids to this mental alchemy work, because just people are mostly not ready yet for this kind of approach, even though it's my favorite approach. But also, as with this ability, I guess I have as to reflect back to people, and that is, of course, not something I do consciously. This is totally unconscious and energetic. A lot of the work gets done through that, not really through my speaking, not really through the words themselves. There is an energetic side to the communication that is pretty much unconscious to either part that is going on, and it's quite potent, quite powerful. And well, I struggle with lots of unworthiness as well. So that prevents me from getting myself out in the world, which is something necessary to do this job, to do this work. And so I'm really working on that part right now. And so that's exactly how I came in contact with Nicolas' work, because I was searching for tools that could help me understand that part better and give me a light of how I could work with that more effectively. So yeah, so I understand that I need to, like you said, and perhaps that's why I was attracted to you, because you are the performer, you have strong communication skills, that this is something I need to develop. Not really, I'm not sure I need to develop communication skills. I think I can communicate well to a certain extent. It's just that the unworthiness aspect of the energetics of the unworthiness permeate the communication and distorts it sometimes. So I guess this is the aspect I should be focusing on. Perhaps if I focus on that, all the rest will just find its own way to flow. I guess that's pretty much it. I said a lot and I said nothing, so.
I said a lot, yeah. Why do you say it's nothing? Sounds like a bit of unworthiness built into that comment.
No, it's because when I said nothing, it's just that from the rational point of view of the mind, I didn't come to a conclusion of anything. It's like but this is how reality works. This is how creation works. It has no beginning and no end, so it's all one thing. So
Right.
In that aspect, it was just perfect. But
there was some energetic transmission that I suspect is important to both of us. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, gosh, let's see how much of this I can reflect back. So one of your talents is the ability to reflect back to people. And this comes through the 14-5 energy, which you have. And that reflecting back to people is in both the positive and the so-called not so positive or negative sense as well. And because you reflect back their negative to them, that can sometimes lead to confrontational situations with those people. So you didn't say this, but perhaps that triggers people a little bit, for them to see their darker side, you know, the side that they maybe don't want to see, or they don't want others to see. What's important to you, and presumably therefore something that you pass on to other people, is knowing the timeless, infinite nature of what makes, I'm not sure if it's you or the world tick, but there's something
makes me
about
tick.
Yeah, there's something
That's
about
what makes me tick.
Yeah, okay. So in some way, although you didn't say this specifically, you're presumably passing that on to other people and helping them perhaps to connect with that in themselves. One of your challenges is the 8-8 spiritual karma, which is all about not wanting to be in the body, wanting to escape from the body. And again, although I'm not sure that you actually said this, I mean, your own journey of anchoring yourself into your body presumably then gives you tools or skills to transmit to other people that also need to do that. And I would think at this moment in history, there's a hell of a lot of those people out there. Yeah. You seem to have some kind of maybe a message for people. And that is helping to broaden people's perspective of reality, putting an end to suffering and making the most out of this reality. And that message seems to fall out of your 8-8 karma as well, perhaps because of the challenge that you've been through, to work that through. Mental alchemy is very important to you, which for you is about, or partly about, transmitting people's challenges, or helping people to transmit their challenges in a conscious way. And at this moment in history, as you've said, there's a lot of need for that, particularly with all the confusion that's going on in the world at the moment, and therefore leading to a lot of challenges and maybe triggering people's karma. So a lot of need to work that karma through. You have some important tools which you bring to people, one of which is flower essence. And you find that helps to stabilize people. For example, it might help them to meditate better, because you see that a lot of people aren't able to meditate. And presumably for you, meditation is very, very important. And I could totally understand with the 8-8 energy that you have it in the spiritual, I have it in the physical. I have 8-8 as my physical karma. Yeah, so we have something else. So yeah. I can totally understand how meditation could be a part of coming into the body. On an unconscious level, more on an energetic level, you help people to, you unconsciously reflect back to people. Yeah, so this sounds as if it's an extension of what you were saying earlier on, or maybe I missed a little bit the point here, but you feel that this work has a lot of potential. Yeah. And then finally, you mentioned unworthiness, and that creates a challenge for you to take your work out into the world, to get it out there. And this sense of unworthiness, although you're a good communicator already, it seems to permeate your communication. And it's something that you feel would be worthwhile for you to give some attention to. Yeah, perhaps to partly improve your own marketing, yeah, of your business. So I think that's what I wrote down. Hopefully I didn't miss too much.
Oh, it was perfect. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. So how did that land with you? How did you feel being reflected back to?
Yeah, it feels pretty accurate. Actually, it feels really it feels true. It feels very true.
Mm-hmm. Great. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just checking here if there is. Oh, there is a message here in the chat by Nicolas saying that to come back to the main room.
Okay.
Come back to the, we need to go.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Michael.
Yeah, pleasure. Bye.
My pleasure. Bye.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, guys. You went on a little bit longer, but I left you to it because you were doing great. So just briefly, we still have another process to do. How was that? Just a few words from each of you, just so I get a feel for it. How was having that mirrored back to you in terms of getting clarity on your gift of service? Who wants to go first? Just wave at me.
Oh, I'll go first. I don't, never mind going first.
Angel, then Fabiana.
We had the most
amazing... Go ahead, Angel.
Thank you, love. We had the most amazing time, and she mirrored some amazing things back to me, and the energy just got higher and higher between us. But what really struck both of us was how alike we were. She's starting to tell me all her stuff. I don't know what I'm going to tell her when it's my turn, because she's mirroring to me all of the things that I think are my gift, and it was beautiful, and I think we appreciated each other. It
Well,
was
you're
lovely.
meeting yourself. That's the reason I have you choose. Key person chooses, and it all works out. So
Yeah, it was wonderful. It was wonderful.
okay,
Thank you.
Fabiana, how was that?
I was about to share the same thing, that it's amazing how this this works energetically, that we find each other reflecting back to each other so many things in common. It's really mind-blowing.
Yeah. Well, you're meeting yourselves, you see. It's sort of showing you that you're not crazy, or what you're thinking that's actually someone else is doing is the same sort of thing. So it's an affirming process and a clarity process. Okay. All right. Other guys want to share briefly how that was?
Recording in progress.
I just need to turn off this other machine here. Okay, keep going. Anyone else want to share how that was?
Well, I think for me, what I noticed was a little bit of my unworthiness, 3-3 unworthiness being triggered. Yeah, when I heard myself being reflected back, it's like, can I be so bold as to say that about myself? Yeah, it's one thing for me to say it, but it's another thing to hear it reflected back through somebody else.
This is why we do this process like this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Thankfully, it wasn't too bad. I've made progress, but there's still something there.
Well, then something to work on. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Masuma?
I think the major thing that I realized is I've been so obsessed with the concept of time. What am I going to do in the future? So I took myself to the future, and I was like, hey, I'm already in the future now. And so I was like, just being myself is going to be enough for me to create whatever career, whatever entrepreneurship endeavor that I have. I'm already there. It's just now getting more strategic about my service instead of like looking for it. Whereas before I was desperate to look for like, what is my path? You know, like I'm already there. It's who I am. I just have to be myself and make some money being myself. And so that's the realization I had. I was like, oh, it doesn't have to be hard. It's hard. It was hard in my mind. But like now it's like, okay, I just need a strategy, like presenting myself, because I have these gifts and it's going to waste if I don't get in front of people.
Yeah, it's a bit of a waste of journey to Earth.
That's the realization that I had.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to have to accelerate the remaining bit here a little bit. We'll sort of do this together, I think. I just need to share the screen again. Okay, thank you for full engagement there. I think you guys got more clarity on that. So, okay, we've got the gift of service, but now who are you going to give it to? Yeah, that's the next question. So, is there anybody out there? Who is your audience? Okay. So, you want to have a think about what gender you're going to address, what age range, income level of consciousness, the degree of commitment to the spiritual path these people have. Are they beginners, or are they completely committed, or somewhere in the middle? How much evolution have they done? Spiritual evolution have they done? And most importantly, where do they hang out? Where do these people hang out? So I think we should do the breakout rooms again, thinking about this. We'll have about 6-7 minutes in the breakout room. Are you guys okay? We run a little bit over time because we had a technical problem. Are you guys okay with that? Can you manage that? About 5-10 minutes? Yeah. So I want you to you okay with that, Fabiana? Yeah, okay. So write those down, and then I want you to speak in pairs, a couple of minutes each way, okay, and just say what it is. Just it gives you, this is about articulating that, okay? And I just want your partner to hear you, okay? All right, and that'll be enough, okay? So I'm going to put you back in the rooms here, okay? I'm going to put you back in the rooms. You go with the same partner, okay? We'll have a little less time on this because of time. Do this, okay? Now I'm going to do it again. Here we go. So just say yes to going in the room, okay? And we'll keep going. You see, you've got to click on the it's a,
third-party companies, though the profile of the companies, that the profile of the clients is some mixture between the sort of clients that need to go to those companies and then, you know, who I'm looking for. So I think moving forwards, there's probably a subgroup within my current client base that I'm really targeting. It's not the same as the larger group that are coming to me at the moment. So in terms of gender, male, female, I think I noticed that a lot of women, I end up working with quite a lot of women.
No. I guess it's not just you, I suppose.
Well, I think women, that at least I think women tend to be the ones that are willing to pay out of their own pocket because they're most interested in their personal development.
Exactly. Yeah.
In terms of age range, well, I think probably the current age range is about right. I don't see myself coaching very young people. It's more in the age group of, you know, people that have a little bit of experience professionally. So that means sort of 35-ish to whatever. But I suppose the ideal range would be 35 to, let's say, 50, something like that. Income, that's a good question now. It's not going to be, well, I would like to say that it's income agnostic, but that's not true. You know, I don't see myself targeting, for example, poor people. I think other people can service those people better. I mean, I work with a lot of professional people, particularly in multinational companies. So they tend to have a certain level of income, but that's almost irrelevant to the coaching at the moment, because in a lot of cases, it's not the individual that pays, it's their company that pays at the coaching session.
Wow.
So maybe that's
really interesting. That's very unusual here where I live.
Yeah.
Yeah, companies paying for this sort of work.
Well, it's
self-development.
Paying for coaching.
It's really interesting.
You know, I might not be able to always sneak in a soul contract reading, but so that's something I have to think more about, is the income level. But I would like to be able to offer it to people. I think that we're in a position like me, or maybe still partly are, but certainly me a few years ago, of coming out of the corporate world, being divorced, having to, you know, support a divorced family of 3 kids, you know, having really not very much money at all. Not as a stable income anyway. So I would like to be able to offer whatever I offer to people in that range as well. So people that have a lot of potential, perhaps, to earn, but that may be going through a difficult patch in life as well. Level of consciousness. This is a really good one. I think the contribution, or one of the contributions I make to people, is helping them to step in more to their spiritual nature. I think I'm some kind of a bridge between the old world and helping them to make a first step towards the new world, which has more of a spiritual overtone to it, helping people to connect to their spiritual essence a little bit. Although I may not use the word spirituality in the discussions. So I think that implies maybe a certain level of consciousness. It's not people that are highly evolved in their level of consciousness, probably. But it's people that are ready to take that next step, I think, away from, the traditional 3D reality and into the reality that you and I think, are more accustomed to. Commitment to spiritual journey. Yes, I think this is a key difference between now and what I would like to have in the future. I don't want to work with people that are just going to show up for one session, and that are not going to be open to, I think, being challenged a little bit. You mentioned your ability to challenge people, or tendency to challenge people. I think I do in a very reasonable way. But I think it requires a certain, perhaps, level of commitment to your spiritual journey to want to come back, into those kind of discussions. So
requires quite some maturity, spiritual maturity.
Yes.
To be able to handle that.
Right.
I mean, on both ends, but especially on the receiving end of a hard reflection requires a lot of maturity to handle that, and not many people are ready for that.
Right.
Guys, go the other way.
Okay, so just very quickly, spiritual evolution, you mentioned that, where they hang out. Good question. That one I really need to figure out. Where do these people hang out? Yeah, I mean, they're in companies, but yeah, I need to think about that one more. So over to you.
Okay, so you're mainly targeted at companies, at working with people in companies. Is that right?
At the moment, I almost exclusively work with people in companies, big and small, but particularly large companies. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is something that I have never ever thought about, really, and I kind of struggle thinking about this, because I'm pretty much agnostic about these the audience, even though, because there are preferences, I have preferences. I cannot say I don't have preferences, but sometimes I'm not really sure if I should. I'm not sure. I'm sort of afraid to get entangled in my own preferences, to kind of fall into some sort of comfort zone, because when the two energies are interacting, they both have, if they are interacting, if they came to the point of interacting, there is benefit for both there. So for me to say this should be like this or like that, it's kind of, I kind of struggle with that sort of idea. But anyway, so gender doesn't really matter. Age range, most likely it's going to be older people, because younger people tend to be interested in all sorts of things other than self-growth and spirituality. But that can be not true. Perhaps you can have like a teenager that is interested in knowing himself. I don't know. Even though I don't think it's likely, but income level also, of course, I would like to attract people with a good income level, which I'm not really clear about what good is. But as you said, I would be totally open to working with someone who is not really established in that aspect, but really is committed and open-hearted and open-minded to this kind of work. You know, it would be very fulfilling for me particularly. But of course, we all live in a practical world with bills to pay and so on. So that overall, like I think it could be a mix of income levels optimally, so that it all gets covered. Because what the audience, I would have, in terms of the audience, it would be, it wouldn't come to this sort of parameters here. It would come much more to a parameter of the person being open enough, or you could say mature enough, to go through this kind of experience. Because otherwise it's going to be sort of unfulfilling on some level for both ends. I'm not going to be fulfilled. The person's not going to be fulfilled if they're not really open, mature enough to go through this process of self-remembering, self-knowing. So the degree of commitment would be something really important to me in this case, because that means the readiness, the openness, the maturity is there. So how spiritually evolved are they? Well, I wouldn't say it's so much about being spiritually evolved, but again, about being open, about being receptive, about being mature to look at what needs to be looked at and work through whatever needs to be worked through. And where do they hang out? Well, I don't know, all over the world, I guess. They are everywhere, I suppose. I'm not sure where they are really, these people. I suppose they are scattered all over the place right now at this particular time we're going through. We have a very catalytic, transformational time at this point. And so a lot of people sort of were shaken out of their numbness, so to speak, in the recent years. So I guess these people, they're all over the place. They're everywhere, just scattered. So that's why I think it's so important to put our faces out there so that they can find us. Otherwise, how on earth are they going to find us?
I think for one of the things that helps me is to think about, if I had to do whatever I do right now, who would I love to have in front of me? What does that person look like? You know, and then put them into these categories. Try to answer the questions from that perspective.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe also gives a clue to where these people hang out, if you can visualize what that person actually looks like in front of you.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I'd love to be in front of someone who is willing to wake up to their real nature.
Mm. One of the things that I think about for myself is something that Nicolas told us in the soul contract training, and that is the idea that, you know, roughly between the age of 35 to 42 years old, you know, people start to connect to their spiritual nature more. Before that period, it's more about the physical dimension.
Exactly. But that being said, which I agree, which was my own experience,
Yeah.
I suppose that has been changing more and more. People are kind of getting to that point earlier and earlier in life, I guess,
Maybe.
because of the nature of the times.
Right. Could well be. But I think that I'm saying this for you, but I'm talking about myself. I wonder if that gives a clue as to, well, it certainly gives me a clue as to maybe the age range of people.
Yeah. But I think that still holds a lot of momentum. Like, I guess most people still are gonna be older than, like, they're gonna be somewhere in their late 30s, 40s, and on and on and on and on.
That's the main room, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Let's go
See you
back.
again. Thank you very much.
Hug too. It's your paying audience. I think I've just realised that we're actually talking about paying audience. But it says I hardly ever get paid because it's my healing is nearly always a response to need rather than an advertised thing that's monetized. I'm only just getting there. Put my first advert out only about 6 months ago. Struggling with this. What about you, love? How are you feeling about it?
Yes. So it's so hard for me to put myself in a box. And so the biggest struggle is to get clear about my my avatar, because I don't want to put them in a box. I don't want to have I want to cater to both genders. I want to cater to all age ranges, because like everyone gets stuck in their mind, and like my gift is to help them get unstuck from their stories, from their mind. So I can work with really young people, as I have with teenagers or even younger, and I can work with a 73-year-old man, which I also have, and anywhere in between. So I'm like, I think the thing that makes this entrepreneurship marketing target market hard for me to sell myself is because I don't have a very specific avatar. And so I was hoping to get that in this training.
I don't know that's going to be possible because, like you, I work with people at the end of their life. I used to be a hospital visitor for people at the end of their life, and I still have left over from those days 5 years ago a cancer patient that I speak to every Tuesday morning for a couple of hours. So she's there, and at the same time, I was visiting people who were in hospital towards the end of their lives, and at the same time, I would be talking to kids. I think for you and me, we are true empaths, pair of us. We feel the need in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm talking to you, all my hair's going all funny on my head. And that means that it's not, we're not business people. We're working from our hearts. We have to find a way to monetize it. We have to find a way to put a label of my time is worth this much. If I give this time to you, I need you to give this to me for my time.
Yeah.
But to say a target audience for me, I work with people at all different levels of spiritual awareness, awakeness, illness, wellness, age. That's you. I don't know what this will look like. It says, who is my audience, write the outcome. Well, the outcome is I don't want to do it to the point where that excludes somebody who really needs my help. And that's not ego. That's knowing that there's something in me which somebody is looking for, something in you that somebody is looking for, and they might be totally skint. You know, and they could be your married woman, they could be an old man at the end of his life, it could be the next door neighbor, but there's somebody looking for somebody who needs what you've got. And I don't know how to, and this is the truth, and this is why I'm sitting here, I don't know how to exclude all of those people who might need me.
Yeah.
For money.
Exactly. And also, because I love what I do and I'm good at delivering every single time, I don't want money to stop someone to come to me for help, because I want to like fully surrender to being able to help as many people as I can, without burning myself out. But also like keeping a roof over my head and my children's head. And I don't know, sometimes I wonder, is it my lack of self-worth, or is it truly like being one with everyone and just, you know, like going with the flow of life? Like today, this is my challenges. Today, this is my blessings, and just being fully in it instead of being attached to a future version of myself, you know? It's a true struggle for me.
I don't know. I look in my diary and I've got 2-3 people every day. And I get paid once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
I'm lucky that my husband, I'm retired. My husband's still working. And I'm just looking through this. There's so many people, and often my schedule's really full. And these are people that I'm happy. Actually, I'm satisfied and happy to help. I'm really, really struggling. Nicolas says that I've got nuns in my aura. I've got poverty consciousness in my aura, you know, and all the stuff that goes with that. And I think he's right. Maybe you have as well. Maybe we were.
I would love to do did you do a reading? How do I figure that out?
When I did the training with him, the Divine Healing Level 1, it was quite expensive, but it was transformational. And I have toughened up since I did it. I have made more money than I've ever made, which is still not very much.
Yeah.
From it. But when he was talking about various things, I was just thinking, I don't know how to do that. And he was talking about going to the next level. I said, if I can find a way to find the money, I don't know, I don't work, you know, how I'm going to find the money to do that. And he was saying, because you've got nuns in your aura from your past lives, and you have this poverty consciousness. It's okay for John to earn the money, my husband. But he said, I bet you don't keep money either, and I don't. Money comes in, money goes straight back out again.
I'm time to swap over, guys.
Oh, right, okay.
Well,
we're chatting rather than anything else, Nicolas, to be honest. We're the same issue.
We're kind of both working through the questions back and forth instead of one person and one person.
It requires a lot of maturity to.
So ideally, I would like a client.
Time to swap over, guys. Go the other way.
Okay, so
like, this is as specific as I can get. Nicolas, we have background noise from your computer.
I really need to figure out where these people hang out. Yeah, I mean, they're in companies, but yeah, I need to think about that one. So over to you.
Nicolas, we can hear the other break. Oh, it's gone.
So you're mainly targeted at companies and working with people.
Here, I'm going to ask him.
Everybody's got background noise.
Almost exclusively with people.
We've got background noise from everybody. Is it stopped? Oh,
yeah. Okay, so if I was to extract the essence of who I would like to work with, it's definitely someone who is aware that they have been a victim of their circumstances and they want to graduate. They want to take responsibility, and they want to change, and they're willing to do what it takes. So I have clarity about that aspect of them.
Yeah.
Level of consciousness is they have awakened,
Yeah.
but they're not like far into their journey. I guess like if I was to coin a term, someone who's going through a dark night of the soul, they're like really questioning how they got here, and like they're scared of what future they want to create, and I would like to help them get clarity about that. So usually they know that like I have this limiting belief and I would like to get past it or break it, and so I would love to help someone who's somewhat aware but not fully, like they can
say the same.
Yeah.
I would say the same. That's my core, but my core is my tribe, and we work on each other.
Yeah.
Often every day somebody be working or swapping. I met 2 people on Nicolas's course and we swap. They've done quite a lot of healing modalities, so have I, and we use whatever comes up for them. We think, what's the best thing I've got that can support that person at this time? And we do that. So I've had all sorts of weird healings since I did that course. So I've had all sorts of chakra clearings and all sorts of deep work done, and it's wonderful. But you can't. That's not the place at which you make money, because your tribe are in the same place as you are. They're not buying things from each other. So yes, I agree that it is people waking up, and I have got quite a few people like that around me. People who have had difficult lives, and in the last couple of years are starting to question if there's a better way of looking at their own life, a different way of processing rather than just being the victim of it. Because there's so much victim consciousness amongst women, especially. Well, women talk more than men do. I'd love to work with men, but it's nearly impossible because they don't open up, and the more distressed they become, the quieter they become, and that's why that they exit this life rather than try and talk to anybody and try and get anything sorted out. Because they haven't got a voice for it.
There's one more thing I've noticed amongst the collective. There is so much emasculation of men and their nature, and I would like to perhaps help women become more feminine so that they can make room for men to become to embrace their nature of masculinity. And so I have trained myself to become more feminine, because when I broke up with my husband a few years ago, I was the masculine energy in that dynamic, and then he started becoming more masculine, so there was no room for me, like in that relationship, in that dynamic. And so I had to fall back, and I love the aspects of me that are natural, the feminine essence of who I am, but I have a very healthy balance between my masculine and feminine. It's not rare. I mean, it's kind of rare because I don't see it a lot, I see like dominance in one area or another. So I feel like that's a market that I don't know if I want to speak to it, but I would love to help women embrace their femininity more, so that, because I feel like they're out of their nature, element of nature.
Yeah, completely. Can I just put something in there quickly before we drag this back out again? When they start going, yeah, well, I'm a goddess, aren't I? I mean, I can have anybody I want. I can do it. And if you're a goddess, my darling, then they must be gods. There's got to be divine balance. My friend and I did a meditation on this not that long ago about restoring the divine, letting a man be the protector. He's the one with the big arms, the big muscles, and he was designed to be that. You were the one designed to have the children. We're not different. We are equal. We're just different. Let them be the divine provider. A man being a provider and feeling that people depend on him is him being able to express himself at his deepest self, and he will be happy. But a woman who can feel that she can nurture, she's got time and permission to nurture her family, her home and everything properly, is, I'm not saying she doesn't have a brain in her head. Don't get me wrong at all. But there's got to be a nurturer in every family, because children have to be nurtured. And it comes more readily and instinctively through a female than a man. And we need to honour that within the traditional, not the traditional roles as they were, but that a man, the strong masculine protector, who has to look after the female when there's children involved and everything, and feels the responsibility. We've taken that responsibility away from them, and we've ended up with men who don't live up to their responsibilities, but we took them away from them in the first place. I totally agree with you. We have a lot in common, and I have a real strong feeling about this also. The emasculation of the male, and this stupid goddess. When I read the goddess, I am the goddess, I think, well, where's all these men going? I am the god. They don't do it. We're the ones.
I think that it's not their fault. You know, like through media, we have been trained to believe this, because that's what they want to do that, because they know that if they emasculate the man, then they can control more of the population. So I don't think it's like our fault, because, like, you know, we're taught on TV how to be, right, through the whatever television. And so it's our fault, and it's not the men's fault. I think that there's a higher influence that is doing that. So, like, for me as a coach, I would like to shine a light on this thing and help each person or group of people become aware of that, so that they can go back into their nature, you know?
Yeah. When they talk about on Facebook or whatever, they talk about broken women and broken women, it should say people. And it's not about fault, it's about responsibility. It's about realizing inside ourselves if something is unfair to another person just because of the sex that they are. It's like the grabbing back of by females of the idea of power that they felt was stolen by men all that while ago. But that's still not balance. And we won't have balance until we stop doing that, to stop demonizing them. When we talk about the pain of people, and you know, women can be very destructive to men. Oh, right. That's a main room. I could talk to you for hours.
I'll see you in a minute.
Okay, love.
Okay, guys. How was that? Discussing your ideal client avatar, just briefly.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I don't have much progress in this area, as you know, like, this is why I don't have my spiritual entrepreneurship launched yet. I struggle with putting myself or my clients in a box and having like a specific thing, with young people all the way up to a 73-year-old. The age range is so wide. Their problems are so wide. It's usually like mindset or trapped emotions. And so this is why and also like the different fields, like I can work with business people, I can work with relationship stuff, femininity, masculinity. And so because I enjoy all of it, because I'm helping them unlock something about themselves, it's really hard for me to have a specific avatar, and because I love working with everyone. So please help me with this.
Yeah. Well, we get into how to handle that on the main training. That's quite a big question you're asking. This will just the main thing is this shows you where you are, and it shows you what you need to work on. So there needs to be a specific niche to start with, and then in order to do that, because you can't, if you try and market to everyone, you get no one, which is what's happened. So you got to get down to, well, what is your priority niche? And that's quite a discussion. But this is just a taste. This is like a litmus test of where are we? Where are you all? And you work from wherever you are. Okay, it's okay. This is normal. Okay. Who else would like to share how that avatar was? Angel, how was your avatar?
It's the same. We were talking, we were both, that's why we were talking backwards and forwards, because we both work with a huge range of issues, but a huge range of people. I can work with people when they're dying, but I work with little kids who are troubled. People who've got money, people who haven't got money, a person crying outside the hospital at the bus stop. I work with the person in front of me, and that's what I was saying to Masuma. So I can't do any more than she can, work it down. And my tribe, who I work with the most, are like the girls that were on the training that we did with you. They're the ones I work with most. We work on each other nearly every week. And I have huge amounts of them, but we never charge each other. We help each other. We heal each other. We support and love each other. And so that's why it's so hard to get paying customers, because I'm too busy giving it away to my tribe. So,
Yeah, got a bit of work to do, but yeah, the main thing is you're doing something. Okay. All right. Michael, briefly, how was that?
Yeah, I think it highlighted the that I need to work more on the question of where do my clients hang out. I know where they hang out at the moment, but that's because, you know, third-party companies bring me those clients. So these clients work for large companies. But when I track them directly, I think there's a question mark where I actually find that subgroup within the group I'm addressing at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, we can get into more about this sort of stuff on the training if you want to examine that. There's different marketing strategies to consider. Okay. Here. But that's you've identified the main issue though. So that's the main thing. Yeah. Fabiana, how's your market niche? How's your avatar?
Yeah, so it's my main issue is the same as Masuma's. This difficulty to just pinpoint and narrow down the audience. But I think that's what you said. You just have to have some sort of specific niche in order to start. Otherwise, you just don't start, which is exactly where I am.
Yeah.
And now I understand why.
Now you understand why. We're showing you everything that's not doing what you want it to do. So you got to take a stock taker. Where are things really? And then we work out, okay, where do we go from here to get something that actually does work? Because there actually is a specific niche with a specific gift, and the two have to meet, and that's the core of your business in the future. It's a question of what is that going to be for you? And that's not such a straightforward answer. It's a process of exploration to find that, which is what we explore. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So this is normal, what you're going through. It's quite normal because no one trains you to be a fifth dimensional marketeer. It's a learned process, which is why we do this. Okay. And you can't apply the normal marketing principles to it. 3D marketing principles, you can't apply them in quite the same way. Okay, so we talk about the sort of the energetics of this on the training itself. So there's a lot, we spend a lot of time talking about energy. Okay, thank you for that. So I'll speak a bit more about how the training can help you, because now you found out where you are and realize what's required. We'll talk about what do we actually cover in order to get there, in order to actually get that business going in the way you want it to go. And this is just an introduction that we do here, because it takes from an average of 18 to 24 months to make the mindset shift. And I'm laying out the landscape here for you, okay? So at least you know what the map is that you've got to deal with. Because if you go in with the lens of the third dimensional corporate map, it will not work. It will never work fully, which is what a lot of people do. And they come to me and say, Nicolas, it's working. I've been a marketer for 20 years and I'm applying the same principles. It doesn't work. So what now? Okay, so we talked about becoming a spiritual entrepreneur. You've got a better idea what that is. It's living your soul's journey out in the world in the form of your business. You've got a bit of an idea what your gift of service is. Okay, but the audience is another issue. Okay, so the issues we talk about here, business and your personal development are one and the same thing when you're a spiritual entrepreneur. It's not something separate. So we talk about what is required in order to become a successful spiritual entrepreneur, to deliver your gift. Okay. There's a dissolution of the ego. We talk a lot about that. We talk about what is your home energy like, because that's usually where most of us work. We'll get in more into what the audience is, because we've got to identify who they are before you can work out how to connect with this tribe. Okay, because if you don't know who they are, if they're everyone, it's going to be very challenging to connect with them. Okay, we talk a lot about that. And in terms of business success, this is not about making it happen and hard charging at it, as you may be conditioned in the corporate world. Business success in this is an inside job. Okay, and it's an emotional, inside, soul-based job. Completely different process. And we talk about, as I said in the beginning, reconciling the feminine and masculine elements within you to deliver your skills to the world. It's about finding a balance. Okay, and that's always very tricky because we have a very patriarchal and balanced world. Okay, and then we talk about how do you stay connected with the training energy, the fifth dimensional bubble you'll be in, to give this transmission, and the community of people you work with. And for those of you in the corporate matrix, how do you escape? Talk a lot about that. I escaped about how long ago? 25 years ago. Not as easy as you think, okay, but it can be done. And what is the most effective form of marketing for you? There's many ways of marketing. We talk about that. And why are business names so important? Because they're frequency. We talk about frequency a lot with the soul contract work. Really, very vital in our line of business, because you're working with very sensitive people who will respond or not respond to the wrong or right business names. And then now when you've figured out what your gift of service is and who your audience is, how do you roll these services out to them? Okay, what are your channels to market? What are the means of communicating to these people? Okay, right, and how do they get back to you? Talk about how the Center for Conscious Ascension runs its sales funnel, so you can use those models, because this course was originally designed for our practitioners, but I realize it's useful for pretty much most alternative therapy practitioners. How do we do how do we structure these webinars? Because these are what has built a global business. Okay, because I had some of the best people, internet marketers, teach me how to do this. What's my spiritual business plan? It's not 2 inches of paper. Okay, how do we actually form a spiritual business plan? You do have a plan, okay, but it's done in a different way. And then we have guest speakers who will these are my other practitioners who have been developing programs to take you from the 2-day introduction. They can take you through that to actually help you form your different components of your business. These are very experienced people, and coach you and put in systems and websites and all sorts of things that you need to practically make this happen step by step. Okay, because it requires a commitment. I'd say, yeah, at least 18 to 24 months to make the transition. And when you've got this new mindset and you've got the systems, which is what my guys will help you with, then you've got a good chance of making this happen. And a lot of the time, a lot of practitioners try to reinvent the wheel, say, I'll figure it out myself. I've got this far in life. But the thing is, they don't know what they don't know. And some of them, a lot of them don't make it for that reason. A lot of the time, their business is more just like doing more trainings. They actually don't have a viable business. They don't realize what they need to do to actually get to that business. They don't have the structure, which is why we do these. That's why we came up with this course. So, I mean, if I wish I'd known what I know now, because if I actually known what I know now, I might not have left my corporate job. But I found out the hard way how to do a lot of stuff, and this is what I will share with you, the distillation of what I learned, so you don't waste your time doing things which will never work. Okay. All right. So that's what we do on the 2-day training. Any questions on what we've done today? You guys have been engaging amazingly well. I think you've learnt a lot. Any questions you want to ask me or observations?
Observation is it seems like a lot of material for 2 days.
Well, I'm going to give you an intro of all of the important things that matter. It's like an executive summary of what's critical if you want to take your business, either start a business, like some of you are, or take it to the next level. These are all the critical things. If you miss one of these things, you'll be dead in the water. Okay. Most of the time, you don't know what you don't know. Most of us don't with this. So I'm here to help you say, here are the critical things, parameters you need to monitor, evolve, learn about, and move forward. So you don't do things which aren't going to work. I show you the things which do matter. Okay. So you can get there a lot quicker and with a lot less grief than I went through when I did this. Okay.
At the moment, do you have any plans to take it to the next step if somebody wanted to go deeper into?
Well, we will. The things to start with the introduction. You've got to have the baseline foundation of what's important,
Sure.
and then I'll introduce you to my team, and they can take you to the deeper level. But you've got to have the foundation first, otherwise you won't follow what's going on.
Right. Sure.
You need to understand the broader landscape, so you can think, okay, you're entering a whole new world of running a fifth-dimensional business. You must know the broader landscape. Then we can drill into all the bits that you need to work on. But without the macro picture, you won't get the next bit that happens. It's just too much detail. Okay, so you have a big picture. Okay, now I see what I need to work. You're doing a lot of what you need today. So we show you a lot of other things that you need to be aware of. And then you know, okay, I know what I need to develop, and I can point you in the right direction to people who can help you do that. They will speak on the webinar as well.
Right.
Okay. But you got to do one step at a time. Okay.
Sure.
So the first thing is get the landscape first, because there'll be some surprises in there, things you hadn't thought about at all, which will turn up.
Yeah.
So you need to be clear what your broader landscape is. Okay. So we're showing you the landscape that will actually give you a much better chance of this working.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm happy to start at that level first of all.
I wouldn't jump in straight away. This introductory thing is very important, because you have to make most important things are making the mindset shift, which is what this is about. Okay. Because we naturally will go with what we're programmed with, and most of what you're programmed with doesn't work. Okay. And we don't know that. The ego thinks like, I can figure this out, but it won't. I mean, I had one practitioner of mine who's trying to do this. She went back to a normal corporate job. Heard that today. I was a bit shocked because she hadn't got the structure right. Okay. So the dates. Someone asked me about the dates in the chat here. So the dates, if you want to come to this, are 3rd and 4th of February, 2024. Okay. All right. And the total fee is about £295 or $378 US. It's a deposit of £97. And you can read more about the training at marketingandmanifestingyourbusiness.com. Okay. 344 euros. Do you use euros, Michael? No, you don't. You use a Swiss franc.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's where we will get into the nitty-gritty of how to do this. So we'll get right in there, hands dirty, and we'll get into a lot of the issues, all the key issues you've got to be aware of. This is the landscape, fifth-dimensional landscape, that will enable you to deliver your gift of service into a 3D world. Okay, so it's about bridging worlds, this thing. Okay, so that's the trick, how to be in that fifth-dimensional bubble, be in integrity, being of service, but deliver your gift, your focused gift of service to a specific niche of people in a specific conscious way, so you reach them, so that they get what they need, you deliver your service, and are more fulfilled, and you pay the bills. Okay, in the process.
I know somebody, Nicolas, that might be interested in taking such a training, because she's just at the point of sort of taking off in a spiritual journey and wanting to set up a business. But she hasn't taken any courses with you.
You don't have to have taken a course with us.
Okay.
Okay. It was originally designed from our practitioners, but then other people were saying, "Oh, can I come?" Well, my friend who's a practitioner told me about it. So other people turn up as well. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay,
Well, I'll make sure to let her know about it. Yeah.
the principles apply. Yeah, the same principles apply with whatever other alternative therapy you're doing. It's the same principles.
Right.
Okay, but it is designed around the originally designed for our practitioners. So it'll be more center for conscious engine centric.
Mhm.
The principles, the broad principles, are still valuable for anyone in this sort of business, because I see so many people who had great promise who actually don't get out there. Well, they just go. Some of them, for them, a business is just going to more trainings. I say, you're not earning any money. This is a hobby. And they realize, oh my God, I am in a hobby. And then they realize, okay, I've got to do something about it. So actually, I'm not reaching enough. I'm not reaching the people I want to reach. So that's the beginning of the journey. So it's okay where you are now. Don't be tough on yourself. You just discovered some very important things about where you are, and we build from wherever you are. Masuma, you have a question?
So was today's training the first day? Is this considered like or is this just like
this is the first 2 hours of the training, so you get to see. It's a mirror to show you where you are. Okay, because once you accept the truth of where you are, then you can do something about it. Because our mind often thinks our mind in the human often feels it's much more advanced or more progress than we actually are. And in business, that's fatal. You have to actually be really clear where you really are. Okay, and only then, when you have a realistic grounded view, then you can do something about it, because it's related to the concrete reality, which is what the nature of business is. Because we can be very excited by our business vision or what we like to achieve and imagine it's already done, but you got to say, is it grounded? Are people coming to the door, digital door or physical door, handing over money, paying for it, and benefiting from it? So this is the grounded way to actually make this happen. This is what we're doing here.
Okay, and then one more question, because I do have a scheduling conflict. I do have something on February 3rd. Are you offering this another day, or is that the only day?
Well, we run from where are you, Masuma?
I'm in Pacific Standard Time zone, like California, Nevada.
Okay, so we run from your time from 4:30 in the morning to 12:30 in the afternoon, because we run from that Pacific time. Would that work?
I don't know. I have to look at it because I have to go to California for something. So I don't know what time the event is. I think it's gonna overlap by 3 hours. So I'm gonna see if I can make it. I'll get in touch with you via email afterwards.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a lot of practical stuff in this which you benefit from, just like you've done now. But you email me and we have a discussion. And once I understand what the timing is, then we can see if that would still work. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Thanks for staying a little longer. I think this has been valuable for you. Any other questions or comments? How did you find it? Was it helpful?
It was really helpful.
Yeah.
To realise everybody's just as stuck as I am was very helpful, because
Yeah.
we're all working from our hearts, and
Yeah.
that includes being a business person. So we're lost, and we need this.
What's the aim of this is to take you from being lost in that more chaotic, feminine, flowing space to actually getting enough structure, masculine structure, so you're structured and you can actually deliver that gift. That's the whole point of this. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions, everyone? Or feedback? Fabiana, did that help? One chemical engineer to another?
Yes, there was really a lot to absorb. For me, it was kind of how can I say, outplaced, because I was originally going to sign up for the Cell Contract webinar, because this is my main interest at the moment.
Yeah.
Because I would say I'm still a step back in the process. I'm still trying to sort of design what it is that I'm going to offer. So this seems to be a little bit too ahead of like how to offer something that I haven't even designed what it's going to be like yet. So
well, this process.
But it was very interesting because there were many questions here I had never asked myself before, which I think are very insightful.
Well, this part of the process will help you design what you want to offer. Okay. So it's a part of it. We talk a lot about that sort of stuff. So you don't have to have figured out your gift before you come to this. This is about the overall broad picture of departing from the corporate world, formulating your offer. There's a whole journey we talk about in the training, and so you're not too early at all. You're in just the right place, because once you have your structure of this, then you look at it quite differently. I mean, you're already seeing what's happening so far in 2 hours or 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So it's not too early, because this will save you a lot of reinventing the wheel.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's the point of it.
Yeah, it was really insightful.
Yeah. So I'd say this is very useful for you, because you have a different structure, different filter, which will get you there a lot quicker. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
A lot of people turn up who aren't clear on the offer, but they're a lot clearer by the time they leave. Really crystal clear. Okay. Because then they understood, here are the parameters I've got to work with. I didn't realize that or that and that. They've not seen it all. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, anything else? We're done. Okay. Masuma.
When is the soul contract training? Is that March?
Let me look on the schedule. Yeah. I gotta find it. Tell you that.
I guess there's one in the next few days. I just don't remember the date.
Oh no, that's just the webinar. That's the webinar, but the actual.
Oh, the webinar, right? Exactly. Yeah.
You're talking about the
not
webinar, Masuma, or you're talking about the actual training itself?
Well, I'm talking about the actual training itself.
Yeah, the training itself. The next one is runs the 8th to 10th of March, 16th to 17th of March, 2024. That's the Western Hemisphere training. Okay, we run
8 to 10.
8th to 10th of March, and then 16th to 17th of March. I'll put it in the chat. We run it in the Western Hemisphere in spring and in autumn. So this is a spring training. We call it the California Moms training, because the California moms say, "Can you run it on a weekend?" Because I'm working and I got 3 kids, and that's what they say to me. So we did. Then they come. Okay. And you are also asking about readings.
Yes.
So I'll post you a link for that as well. Okay.
You're gonna place a link?
I'm gonna place a link in the chat for you now.
Okay, perfect.
So you can look at readings. I'm booking like February at the moment. I'm pretty busy. So I mainly focus on running trainings, and my other members of my team, they deliver more of the readings. Okay. All right. So
maybe just a word from me, Nicolas. So I'm, at least for today, I'm already familiar with, I think, a lot of these principles. However, I notice, or you're reminding me about how easy it is to get sucked back into the old matrix thinking.
Well, yeah, we're trying to basically break down the programming of what you've been through. You've been in corporate a long time, so you may be aware of the principles, but your mind is still running on 3D corporate operating system.
Right, and I think you can help put some structure around the as well.
We're trying to break you into the 5th dimensional operating system, which is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, we still use some, or it's a crossover between third dimensional understanding of marketing to actually 5th dimensional energetics, which is the key to the whole thing.
Right.
Okay, which is what we talk about in the training.
Yeah. No, I look forward to the training. Yeah.
Yeah. So the main thing is it enables you to make a proper jump from 3rd dimensional process to 5th dimensional process. And once you're in the 5th dimensional world, you draw from the 3rd dimensional world what you need, but you don't let it drive you. You come from a completely different place of love and service. We talk a lot about this sort of stuff, but it's about shifting mindset, shifting you emotionally, deprogramming you from a lot of the brainwashing of the poisoning of the world with money, that sort of stuff. It's really critical because we have some deep instinctive responses when we're trying to pay the bills. And by applying the spiritual principles, there's a lot of different things to learn, then there's a good chance you'll make it. The main thing to make it is persistence and focus. The reason most entrepreneurs fail because they don't stay focused and they don't persist. They don't stick to the plan they laid out. Okay. That's why 90% of small businesses fail, because people don't do that. Okay. So it can be done, but you've got to put the work in. It can be done. So any other comments or questions? It was fun working with you guys. You gave it everything. It was great. So hope you got something from that. Okay, so we'll get this video out to you probably early next week, and hopefully see you on the training and or trainings. It's good fun. So you can actually work, enjoy, and do what you love, enjoy yourself, and get paid, and with people you like. Complete anathema to the corporate world. And most people work with people they don't like and have clients they don't like just to pay the bills. Life is miserable. Why bother? Okay, that's what most people do in the corporate world. So we're offering you a different option completely. Yeah. Okay. That's a bit extreme, but that's what happens for most people. So it's just the way life is. It doesn't have to be. So, okay.
Okay, thanks so much.
All right. Take care, people.
Well, good luck
Thank
to
you.
you all.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.